Hello. Thank you so much for joining today. I look forward to discussing the MSA application process and going through all the steps required and all the different application components that go into making your Notre Dame MSA application. I wanted to start off by quickly introducing myself. My name is Shane McCoy. I am a member of the Mendoza Graduate Enrollment Team, and I have been working here at the Mendoza College of Business for the past 5 years. I've spent the last 4 or so years working closely with the MSA in Accountancy program. So I look forward to our conversation today. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. And I want to be sure to give you the skills and the information necessary to help you submit the best possible MSA application. The session should take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes today, and then there'll be some time for questions and answers at the end of the PowerPoint presentation. So the webinar agenda, just a quick overview of what we're going to cover throughout our time. We're going to start off by talking about the admissions process and timeline, what goes into the application, some tips and tricks and advice as someone who has been working in the MSA program for the past several years. Quickly, we'll go through our deadlines for the 2023 and 2024 admissions cycle. Then we'll end the conversation going through the questions that you have today. So definitely look forward to our conversation. Please feel free to use the chat function or the Q&A function for any questions that you may have. All right, so let's just jump right into things here with the admissions process. What does this process look like? I want to give you a little bit of transparency into everything that happens from the time you hit submit on your application. So what will first happen is your application will be reviewed by our admissions operations team. So they'll be ensuring you have all the required documentation, your letters of recommendation, and just helping make sure that it's a completed application. From there, our admissions committee will get together and review the application. We will then begin to invite students for a virtual interview. At the moment, all of our admission interviews are done virtually. After that virtual interview, the committee will get back together. Now that we have more data to look at, we can look at the holistic application from your letters of recommendation to your transcripts, your PowerPoint, and also your virtual interview. Once the committee is able to reconvene and review your application again, we provide that final decision, step 5. So in a nutshell, that's all the steps that go into submitting your application and all the back end information. So I'm not going to read every aspect here because we are going to go through each application component one by one throughout today's presentation. But as you can see, at a quick glance, there are a lot of components that go into completing your application. But when you break things down into achievable steps, it's a fairly simple application for you as the applicant to complete. So let's just kick things off with a statement of purpose. What's the statement of purpose is a common question, and really what it is a simple statement, 100 words or less, 150 words at the longest, about what are your short-term goals and how will our MSA, how will the Notre Dame MSA fit in and help you achieve those goals? So again, keep it simple, keep it on the shorter end. How will we help you achieve your academic and professional goals? All right, the resume. So we do not have a specific format of resume that we require. You will be working closely with our career development team if you were to pursue our MSA and ensure that you have the best possible resume when working with the Big 4 accounting firms and other professional firms. But for now, what we are looking for is for it to be 1 page. Again, most of our students are coming in with anywhere from 0 to 2 years of professional experience, so 1 page should be plenty. Be sure to list internship. If you have work experience, list that. If you have an upcoming internship, be sure to also add that to your resume as well, because that experience will be super valuable in the classroom. Feel free to add your clubs, organizations, especially if you were in like a leadership role in one of these extracurricular activities. If you give back to the community, let us know. That aligns with who Mendoza is and our values. So outline your community involvement, let that be on your college campus, in your hometown, etc. Technical skills. As we all know in the accounting world, analytics is growing and the ability to automate is more and more important. So do you have a background in R? Do you know Tableau? Let us know that in your application in the resume through like a technical skills section. And then if you've done any research competitions, case study competitions, and have done well, also highlight that here on your resume, as this is a great way to show teamwork, collaboration, and ability to use your skills in a practical real-world environment. All right, so recommendations. We do require 2 recommendations, but I will say having a third is could be an advantage for you because it helps make sure that your application does not stall. So why I reference 3 is we need at least 2 to make a decision. If one of your recommenders is, let's say, busy grading papers or doing research, and they're unable to complete that application recommendation, it will slow down the application process for you. That's why there's an advantage to having 3 recommenders. But what we need at least 1 academic reference. This could be a professor. This could be an advisor. If you're a student athlete, this could be your coach. So again, academic. If you've had really good experiences with some non-accounting faculty, that works, but it is best to have an accounting faculty writing your recommendation for an accountancy graduate program. We also will accept 1 professional reference. So this could be, for example, like an internship supervisor, if you have a part-time job, your boss, your supervisor, etc. It cannot be your parent, cannot be your uncle it needs to be someone that's not family, a professional reference. If you're involved with any clubs or organizations and you have an advisor, that's also a great professional reference as well. And then coach here, this kind of ties back to our student athletes that are applying for the program. All right, transcripts. We get a lot of questions around transcripts. Many students do not start their undergraduate programs and end all at the same institutions. Many times you may take a course or 2 at a community college, or you may transfer. Needless to say, we will need all of your all the transcripts from all institutions. So let that be the summer courses or the transfer institutions. All institutions attended, we need their transcripts. For the sake of applying, we only need unofficial. If you were to be admitted and you decide to enroll and attend the MSA program here at Notre Dame, we would need those final transcripts. For our international students, we will need them to be translated to English, and that is usually done through our WBS evaluation partner. Again, that is done after you have been admitted and after you've told us that you are planning to enroll here at Notre Dame. So we do have some prereq courses. We actually have 6, and we don't need you to complete all 6 before you apply, but we will need to see that you are planning or have taken the courses. And if you are missing any, you would then be applying for the Accounting Immersion Program, the AIP. That's a separate program to help make sure you get the required courses before you begin the MSA coursework in the fall. So our 2 required courses are financial accounting and managerial accounting. We also require intermediate 1 and 2, audit and assurance services, and federal taxation. If you have any questions about missing prereqs and you're unable to take them at your institution, connect with me one-on-one. Happy to set up a time to talk and help you find a way to either complete that prereq course, or maybe you can take that course with Notre Dame faculty in the summer to hit the ground running with the MSA program. All right, so GMAT, GRE. test and the test scores. This is another common question. Do you accept both? The answer is absolutely. We have zero preference over GMAT or GRE. We will take either. You can submit your test score after the deadline has already ended. So if you have a future test date, let us know via email. We'll make a note, and then we'll add that test score to your application after fact. What I want to note about the test scores is for our domestic institutions, so those graduating from a United States institution, they are not required. You are welcome to send a test score, though, if you would like, but by not sending one, it will not have a negative impact on your application. For those that are graduating from institutions outside of the United States, we do have a waiver option available. You complete that test waiver within the application, and then the committee would review that request when reviewing during the first admission review in that admissions process that we talked about a few slides back. You can submit unofficial report. We would just need that official report to make it final. All right, so for our language scores, again, kind of going back to the flexibility, we do accept both. They can be submitted after the admissions deadline, just like the GRE and GMAT score. Waiver options are available. So for an example, if institution you attended, English is the primary language, we can waive that. Or if you have studied here in the United States, the test score will also be waived as well. All right, the Kira video assessments. This is a new aspect of our application that all of our applicants must complete. So once you submit your application, within a few days, you'll actually receive another email asking you to complete a Kira video assessment. This is a part of your application. On average, it takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to complete, but it's not the interview. This is not the formal interview. This is just another way for the committee to get to know a little bit more about who you are and learn a little bit more about your communication skills. Please do consider this a professional encounter. So if you are, try to find a quiet place to study, a quiet study place to complete the assessment. I would dress professional. I would act as if this was an interview and treat it as such. Even though it is not the formal interview, it is still very important when reviewing your application. All right, so the essay section. So there will be one essay this year. We have made that change from prior years. Once you begin your application, it is actually, the prompt is in the application. So start your apps, look at the prompt, and begin to process and ideate the response to that question. How long does it need to be? That is a great question. We ask for it to be double-spaced, 11 or 12 font, so it's not too small, easy to read, and it can be 2 pages double-spaced. So it's not too lengthy, but we're giving you enough space to get your ideas across, in a concise manner. It's always helpful if you just at the very top add in the essay prompt, just so all of our application readers can see what you're writing about. And then there also is a section for supplemental essays within the application. So you can add that to talk about if you had maybe a rough academic semester, or if you struggled with online learning during the pandemic, you can outline that via a supplemental essay within the application. All right, so the slide presentation. So this is another really fun way for the admissions committee to learn a little bit more about who you are outside of your resume, outside of just the text of your application. So we are asking for a 4-slide PowerPoint presentation. Please upload this as a PDF, as that is what works best in our system. And we are looking for you to kind of highlight who you are, we're looking for new information. We don't need this to be just a rundown of your resume. We will already have seen all of that information via your resume. So this is just a really unique way for you to show the committee, who you are, what your value proposition is, how will you add impact to the Notre Dame and MSA community, and how can you really stand out. This is a great way to stand out in the admissions process. It is best for us to be a blend of photos and text to kind of highlight who you are and your personality. What we're looking for is not just 4 PowerPoint slides of photo collage. We want there to be some text and storytelling in this process. At the same time, we're not looking for just 4 PowerPoint slides of paragraphs. We want there to also be some of that creative, that genuine storytelling of who you are and showing us your personality. What I always like to say about the PowerPoint presentation is don't overthink it, but still put thought into it, and how you can just show the committee who you are in a fun manner. We're not grading and judging your creative design. We know that you are an accountant, you're not a graphic designer. We're looking more for just you being genuine and putting thought and time into this process. All right, so another aspect of the application is the admissions interview. So this is done by invite only. We will also be using our partner, Kira Talent, so that same partner that you used to complete the Kira assessment earlier on in the application process. The interview is 30 minutes. So it's not a technical interview. We won't be asking case questions or asking you accounting theory. I promise you know more about that information than I do as a non-accountant, but we are just going to be helping to learn a little bit more about who you are, why Notre Dame, and just learn more about your story, but it's also a great opportunity for you to learn more about Mendoza and Notre Dame as well. Again, just want to reiterate, this will not be a technical interview by any means, more of a situational conversation to learn more about who you are, and just tie up all the information we've gathered in the application in the admissions interview. All right, so fellowships. So if you can see here, it will ask you on your application if you'd like to be considered for scholarships and fellowships. If you say no, you will not be considered. If you answer yes, it will then populate with a little blurb. You will have the ability to write in 250 words outlining, why you are a recipient why you should be a recipient for fellowships and scholarships. Our fellowships are merit-based. So it is all done on academic and professional merit. So be sure to highlight the internships you've had, and your extracurricular activities, your academic activities, and how this will help shape, how you can help shape the MSA community. That's what we're looking for in the short fellowship blurb that you will be writing. All right, so I'm going to go through just the application best practices here. So you are able to apply anytime between now and upcoming deadline. So our next deadline is January 10th, 2024. When I say it out loud, it seems like it's a year away. It does seem far, but it's going to be here in just a blink of an eye. The next several weeks will go by very quick. So you're able to start that application process now. You don't need to wait to the week before to start. Decisions are released and posted on our website, so we want you to plan accordingly. If you're applying to other schools that have deadline or release dates, make sure they align with ours and apply for the deadline that best fit your plans and what you are looking to achieve. So plan accordingly. Submit all of your portion of the application by the deadline. So that means your resume, your PowerPoint, uploading all of your transcripts, etc. And then unofficial transcripts are accepted at the time of submitting your application. As I mentioned previously, you would just need to send us your final transcripts if you were admitted and you attended the MSA program. Unofficial will work for the time of application. All right, so here are our upcoming deadlines. Obviously, we've already passed early decision in round 1. Our next deadline, round 2, January 10th, 2024, is going to be here any moment in the next several weeks. This is a great time to start working on that application, and we'll be releasing decisions March 15th. Our final deadline, round 3, March 19th, with the admission decisions going out on May 10th. I highly encourage you applying well before March 19th, because as we continue to progress through the rounds, the program does begin to fill up and there becomes less space in the program. So things do become more competitive. So I always recommend not waiting until March 19th, even though it's listed. I would try to aim for January 10th, if at all possible. Also want to note, January 10th is our international student deadline. That is so you have plenty of time to get your visa appointments and get things in order to start the program next fall. So international students, be sure to apply by January 10th. And then also for our accounting immersion program students, while March 19th would be the final deadline, I still would encourage you to apply by January 10th if you're looking to complete the AIP program. All right, well, that is the session today. I want to see if there are any questions out in the audience that I could help respond to. But in the meantime, it was great chatting with you today. And I hope this session was helpful and helped prepare you to submit the best possible MSA application.